Most PTA leaders don't realize this, but it's true. You can't spend a single dollar until your plan of work is approved. In this video, I'll show you how PTA Budget Pro helps you create, manage, and link plans of work so you can stay compliant, organized, and aligned with your board. A plan of work is more than just a form. It's a strategic document that outlines your goals, responsibilities, key action steps, timelines, and any expected budget impact. Every board member, whether elected or appointed, should complete a plan of work even if they're not handling money. Why? Because they're still using PTA resources like time, communication, and volunteer support. Plans of work must be reviewed and approved by your board before you begin your work. They also help with accountability, budget planning, and year-end reconciliation. This is a treasurer's report. It's a sample from the Texas PTA website, and it covers everything that's needed from a plan of work. So we have your name and then your position, which is the treasurer in this example, and you put the school year like 2025 to 2026 in the case of this video. And it says reproduce as needed for the appropriate number of goals. So what we have is our responsibilities and duties, and that's going to be your responsibilities and duties as a treasurer, which are to fill out funds requests, make bank deposits, balance accounts, maintain financial records in the budget, file tax returns, etc. All that's going to go in here. Any members you have in your committee will be listed here. And since we're just the treasurer in this sample, there's not going to be any there. Our goal as treasurer is to maintain the PTA financial records so that the Financial Reconciliation Committee finds the reconciliation process to be one of ease and organization. So that's our goal for the year. The evaluation process is end of year review by Financial Reconciliation Committee. So that's how we know we're going to do a good job. Beneath that, every plan of work is going to have specific action steps, and they're going to be listed out here. So you can have the action step as the example here. It has regularly check the treasurer file and vault, process PTA funds, request forms, and make deposits quickly after receipt of funds. This one is ongoing, so it doesn't have a start date or a completion date. And there's no budget because there's no money involved in it. But as we can see down here, we do have some that do. So maintain ledger or digital financial records, update hard copy or electronic files, and balance all accounts to account statements monthly. And again, this one's ongoing, so there's no start date or completion date, but we do have a budget here for the cloud-based financial software. At the bottom, we have listed out our resources. Council Treasurer and local PTA Executive Board, Texas PTA Field Service Representative, Texas PTA Treasurer Resource Guide and website, Treasurer's Basics Training, Records Retention Policy, and the National PTA website. So all these are going to give us guidance on how we can do our job. So that is a sample plan of work that we can do from the Texas PTA. Now let's create a treasurer's plan of work, the same one, using PTA Budget Pro's built-in wizard. Okay, so here we are in PTA Budget Pro. And we're going to do our create new plan of work. So we go to plans of work and we say create your first plan of work. This tool gives you suggested responsibilities and common action sets specific to your role. Here we enter in our name and our role, which is going to be treasurer in this case. And if we have any committee members, just like on the other form, we can enter those here. And we'll click next. And here we have, you'll recognize these from the other form. We have our goal, responsibilities and duties, evaluation process, and resources. As you can see, we have template available up here. So we can use the treasurer's template if we don't really know what to put in here, which may be the case if you've never done this before. That's all right, we have it. So here our goal is to maintain accurate financial records, ensure financial responsibility, and provide transparent financial reporting while supporting PTA programs through sound budget management and compliance with all tax requirements. So, and we got our responsibilities listed out. We have our evaluation process and our resources. So we can click on next, and here's where we enter our action steps. It says we have 4 sample action steps for treasurer, which is set up chart of accounts. It kind of gives them here. Let's go ahead and use those as our template since, this will say this is my first time being treasurer and I don't really know what to put here. So we're going to set up a chart of accounts in a financial system. We have our budget there, our start date and our end date. And here it's a little bit different. These are kind of required. So they'll just kind of default to the start of the fiscal year and the end of the fiscal year. And we can actually adjust those because it's not 8/31. We want to make it 7/30 of next year. So you can adjust all this, right? And then we'll click next. And here it shows our sample plan of work or our plan of work actually, that kind of looks a lot like the sample. It has all of our action steps, our plan overview with our goal, responsibilities, evaluation process, and resources. And what we're going to do is submit for approval, but you can save it for draft, come back later and edit it and do what you need to do before you need to submit it if you don't want to do it all in one sitting. So we're going to go ahead and submit it for approval, and there we have it. Once completed, your plan of work goes to the executive board for approval, and no funds can be spent until that happens. So we're going to go ahead and simulate what the board's going to do. And let's say we had a meeting and they already voted for it and they said they liked it, so we're going to approve it. So we're going to click on approve plan here, and we're going to say approval notes if there was any notes about it, and we'll confirm or approve or confirm our approval. Now you can see it is approved. We can no longer edit it, but we can see it. And it's laid out almost exactly the same way as our sample was over here. So we have our officer name, position, year, responsibilities, committee members, goal, evaluation process. So almost exactly like the sample from the Texas PTA. And the cool thing is we can download a PDF of it that we can print out, keep in our records. And you can even do that before it is fully approved. Close that. So now we have our PDF that we can print out or send as an email attachment. It shows when it was approved and everything, and it's already approved. So that's good to go. So that's our plan of work. The cool thing about plans of work in PTA Budget Pro is that we can link them to our budget items in our budgets. So if I'm also the treasurer and I'm creating our budget, we can go and create a new budget. And it says up here at the top, plans of work first. It's best practice to have all plans of work submitted and approved by your board before starting a new budget. This ensures your budget reflects actual committee goals, planned events, and anticipated spending. And you can view all the ones that have been submitted. So since it's just me that submitted it, we can see they have the treasurer one and it's fully approved. But you'll see the others here. So once you have all of your plans of work submitted and approved, you can come in here and just verify, yep, everybody's submitted. I can go ahead and create my budget. So if you don't operate that way, you don't have to have all the plans of work. Every PTA is different, and we have that also. So you can just continue on with creating your budget. So we're going to select the current school year. We're going to say next. And here's where you enter your cash balance forward. I'll kind of skip over this part because creating a budget and managing the budget is a whole nother video, and we'll have that soon. So here I'm just going to put $2,000, and we're going to start from scratch. Again, I'm just going to go kind of fast. And the one budget item that we had was an expense for equipment and technology. So here we go and add our budget items. So we're going to add an expense item, right? And we're going to say that we purchased technology. So we'll say we purchased PTA Budget Pro that we're going to purchase, and we have to have a budget line item expense for that. We have an expense, and we're going to say it. What would we say in our sample plan of work? And financial systems, $200 to $400. So let's say we have $200, and we actually looked at here what says link to plan of work, right here, set up chart of accounts and financial systems. So we're going to link that action step to this expense, equipment and technology, and we're going to say it costs $200, right? We could add any notes here that we want, and it'll be saved in our budget. So you can see over here when we click add item that we now have PTA Budget Pro listed, and it automatically does our calculations for us. So we can link our specific plan of work action steps to a specific budget item, which is going to help when we do reconciliation or for auditing, compliance standards, etc. So that really helps solidify your accounting and how you run your PTA. So you can do that for all of them, all the action steps, and everything will link back, and you'll be able to explain why, or be able to justify each and every budget line item and where that came from. Click next, and you can set it as the current budget, and we click next, and we're going to save our budget, right? And then it's going to show it to us. So here's our budget, right? We have a budget. It's a proposed budget because it hasn't been fully approved. And again, we're going to cover that in another video, our cash balance forward. But here's our expense. where it has equipment and technology, PTA Budget Pro. And we have linked to treasurer, setup chart of accounts and financial systems, $200 to $400 for software and setup. And it correctly calculates everything here. And it says status draft, link to plans of work, one item. And you can see our linked plan of work here to maintain accurate financial records, ensure financial responsibility, etc., etc. So there's all that. So that is basically covering how PTA Budget Pro handles plans of work. And like I said, we'll have another video specifically on the budget and that approval process and amendment process. It's all covered in PTA Budget Pro. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Be sure to visit ptabudgetpro.com, and we'll see you later. Thanks.